absolutely wonderful historical Fraktur F there. So yesterday I looked at some of the variations. I'm going to run through some of those very quickly to start with, because I wanted to leave them on the top of the page. I've also changed the interlinear spacing. So let's start with an angled variation. Remember, I'm trying to keep the shape upright. And you can see me switching back and forth because this edge is sharper than this edge and I want something slightly blunter. To do the hairline flourishing. So as you can see, it takes a lot of planning to keep this whole thing vertical, even though this looks like it's leaning back a little bit. So this is the baseline here. So I know I need to put this shape in. So what I'll probably do is I'll map this in. Then I put this in, and from here I can make this shape, and then I can connect it to that shape. Now, you can make this first. So essentially you can do this. And then we can do this. And then do this, and then do that. So, I call this plotting. So plotting this out is really quite important. The reason why I opted to do this first is because I wanted something that went up. And as you can see, these two shapes at the top here are very, very different. This is more sort of Batard-like. This is more sort of Fraktur-like. This is more sort of Batard-like. Other variations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move from the top variations to the base variation. So remember, little square, but not so little, but and I want the leading edge to be softer. And this is where the base variation changes. So we then add an internal spiral, and then we add this kind of line break is very typical of Fraktur. Add another break there. That sort of wiggly line is also very typical of Fraktur. And we're going to add a So if you go back to yesterday's video, which you can find either on Paul Antonio Scribe on YouTube or on the Paul Antonio Scribe Facebook page, or on the IGTV, you'll see that there is a top variation that is similar to this. So I'm going to look at another variation by adding another line. So with Textualis Quadrata, we have this shape. Sorry, that's a little bit too curvaceous for Textualis Quadrata. And we can also use this kind of shape as a base for the I'll just ignore the phone, as a base for the backbone of the bee. So we can do this, and we can do it again. So that gives us a nice base, and then we can come up, down, and back, and out. And let's take that and add it from here. Little fishtail twist there. You could even take this and put that in there. And if you really wanted to, you can add this. So of course, we're seeing the variations becoming a little bit more complicated. There are lots and lots of other complexities. So I'm gonna do a couple more. This is a really technical variation. So we have 1, 2, 3. Keep it in line. 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep it vertical. And 8, and 9, and 10, and 11, and 12, and 13, and 14, and 15, and 16, and 17, and 18, and 19, and 20, and 21, and 22, and 23, and 24, and 25, and 26, and one more through there, and over here, and there. We can even do another curl there. So the counting, I use the counting to help slow me down. Because obviously if you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're really going to run into lots of issues with the speed and the rate at which you're doing the work. By slowing down the work, it really gives you a sense of time, of sort of being a little bit more at pace. Now, we've been doing these with a Zig Calligraphy 2 marker. This is a Zig Scroll and Brush marker. And I'm not going to do a really complex shape because this adds complexity in and of itself, because it is a scroll marker, so it gives a double line. So immediately already we have a complex letter form. Now you can go back in here and add some little, and pull some little hairlines out of here, and maybe out of there, and probably out of here. So I'm just using some basic flourishing rules that I've come up with to help understand why a flourish works the way it works.